From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Aleka Darko.
And I'm Analicia Perez. A third Las Cruces teenager is facing life in prison after being convicted of first-degree murder. Josiah Antiveros was 15 when he was part of the group who started a shootout in Las Cruces Young Park in March last year. He stands convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder and deaths of 16-year-old Andrew Madrid, 18-year-old Dominic Estrada, and 17-year-old Jason Gomez. 14 others also suffered gunshot wounds. Tomas Riveras and Nathan Riveras were convicted on the same charges in February, and Gustavo Dominguez is scheduled for trial in July.
That shooting last March highlighted the issue of juvenile crime in Las Cruces, a problem that's long been on the mind of police chief.
And now the city and police department are trying to find new solutions to stop it. News 22 Diego Gallegos has the story.
Andrew Madrid, Dominic Estrada, Julia Clark, all victims of the wave of juvenile crime that has hit Las Cruces.
I think we hadn't quite discovered that it had already become a problem. You know, like most trends, you have to see the trend clearly before you realize it. So
a trend that has been motivated by social media.
I think they do it for the gram, they do it for the internet clout, and they do the things in real life so that they can post it on social media and appear that they're gangsters.
But has turned deadly with an increased access to guns.
And they're good at actually stealing them from vehicles and houses and gun stores, but primarily from vehicles. But they're getting these guns and then they sell them amongst themselves. So they can buy and trade and sell guns through apps like Telegram.
Since 2020, 83 juveniles have been arrested 5 to 9 times. 17 juveniles have been charged with murder. And since 2016, there have been 355 juveniles arrested with firearm charges.
During this year's legislative session, Chief Story heavily supported Senate Bill 165, a bill focused on intervention and expanding who counts as a youthful offender. But the bill did not pass, and now the city of Las Cruces is looking to youth programs.
I think we see a lot of great stories coming out of our programs. One of the things that we see is there's not as much recidivism for those that participate in a program like this.
That program is TIPS, which takes in juveniles that have a violent history with family members and partners.
Our program is offering up life skills programs that helps kids see other options, see other opportunities for them, feel supported, and learning ways to be productive in their community.
Overall, the message is clear: to try and keep kids out of trouble.
Once they're there, it's very hard for kids to get out, and oftentimes will end up there as adults.
And the way to do that is to give kids options and support through their community.
We all have to do our part and work together.
He says there must be a way to balance rehabilitation and accountability. Diego Gallegos, News 22.
To learn more about youth programs and their availability, contact the City of Las Cruces at 575-541-2550. New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres says the Children with Youth and Families Department is abusing children, and he plans to sue to stop it.
The lawsuit claims CYFD abused the state's confidentiality laws in order to cover up their failures. A year-long investigation found the DOJ prioritized family reunification at virtually any cost, at the expense of a child's health and safety. It led to severe consequences, including the deaths of at least 7 children since the investigation began. Well, it has been very dry recently, and the weather is bipolar, but...
Yeah, it felt like winter for a second.
It's definitely been a bit of a switch. I mean, today, basically by all measures, has been a perfect day. We're going to go take a look at what it's been like today. It's been very sunny, a nice 79 degrees. Like I said, by virtually all measures, it's basically been a perfect day, almost non-existent wind. However, you are correct there. It has been extraordinarily dry today, and it doesn't necessarily look like that's going to change. Right now, our high today, it only got up to 81 degrees, which isn't as bad as it's been the last few weeks. However, it's still a little bit higher than the average that it's usually been at this time at around 76 degrees. Today it got down to 48, which is still pretty high for this year, but once again, not as bad as we've seen with the recent heat wave been going on. It capped out at about 91 degrees in 1989, marking our all-time high, and it got below the 30-degree mark in 1975. Still no rain, so we're still sitting at just a hair under 2 inches on the year. Back to the desk.
NMSU's Agricultural College is working on a new crop that could be good for area farmers. As climate change increases water scarcity, researchers at New Mexico State University are exploring the viability of saffron, one of the world's most expensive spices that can cost from $500 to $5,000 per pound. It's being cultivated in Vermont and New Hampshire, but researchers think the land of enchantment has an advantage. It's primarily produced in Iran, which has similar climate conditions as parts of New Mexico. The state of New Mexico has $3 million set aside to help the state's meat processors.
The state will soon accept applications for the grant money. The money is intended to be used for modernization and environmental compliance. This is being funded by one-time operations from the 2026 legislative season. It's open to New Mexico-based slaughter, processing, and production facilities. Stay tuned. Ben will be back with your national weather forecast.
Welcome back to our sewing room for the 4700 series of Love of Quilting.
These new episodes are packed with fresh skills and inspiring projects, from bold, large-scale patchwork to quick and satisfying small designs.
Let's explore new and creative techniques like using a compensation plate for bulky seams, couching yarn to embellish, and even dyeing quilts with indigo.
From piecing and quilting to our beloved viewer tips, stitch along with us on this season of Love of Quilting.
Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Thousands of people have come here to the Center of Seoul this evening. They have come to celebrate the newly elected president, Lee Jae-myung.
He's been firing rubber bullets at the direction of the crowd, and it shows you just how volatile the situation is.
We're seeing scenes of destruction like this one across Mandalay, and the reality on the ground is there just aren't enough pairs of hands.
Given the scale of the attacks we've seen over the past 48 hours, it doesn't feel like we're in ceasefire territory.
And in continuation to it being very dry around, Ben is going to be next with your national forecast weather.
Well, thanks, guys. Building off what they talked about this being the hottest March on record, all of the areas you can see in red did set their warmest ever record. Every other area got kind of close, but you can see here in the Southwest it was especially bad. And we're going to see the future kind of build off the past as we go on to the next map. This is a projection of what it's going to look like the rest of spring. And basically everywhere in the country is going to be a lot hotter than we can expect, especially here in the Southwest. Now, there might be a silver lining as we go on to the next map. We are expecting a super El Nino, which means warmer temperatures in this part of the Pacific Ocean that's going to cause air to rise. One thing it could mean is that we're going to see a pretty weak hurricane season in the Atlantic, so around Florida this in March. Usually we see some pretty bad hurricanes. Hopefully we won't be seeing that And to bring it back onto the next map, to bring it a little closer to home, what this means for us is we're probably going to see a pretty wet winter. So assuming it gets cold enough, we could be seeing some snow down here in New Mexico, knock on wood, of course. But there's a really good shot that if this hot weather has been bringing you down, at least we'll have some snow this winter. I'll be back with your local forecast after this.
Have you ever tasted something that transported you to another world?
Ooh, that's so legit.
I'm Chef Yavang. That's what I aim to do every time I cook.
This looks amazing.
As a Hmong refugee from Southeast Asia, I use food as a way to share my culture, my family, and our history. Join me as we step into the kitchen with local chefs to relish the cuisines and culture of our neighbors.
Saturday at 2 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
There are some combinations that just make sense. Peanut butter and jelly, mac and cheese, KRWG-Public Media, and a free cup of coffee? Of course. Let's try it during a coffee visit and chat at Tranquil Buzz in Silver City on Thursday, April 9th from 9 to 11 a.m. Visit with KRWG staff and enjoy a free cup of coffee. KRWG-Public Media, powered by you.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the local temperatures, and for the most part it's been pretty boring over here in New Mexico. It's mostly just been in that 70s to 80s range. Nothing too exciting. Most of the state is hovering in that high 70s region. Deming right now is the only one to break into the 80s, at least right now. Now, if we go to tomorrow, we're still going to see them make that slow climb up as we work our way into summer. One interesting thing, here in the eastern part of the state, it is going to be hotter than yesterday, yes, but in Clovis and Roswell, we could be seeing some thunderstorms and some potential rain over in those areas. And as usual, the south is going to be the hottest part of the state. Both us and Deming are going to be clocking in at 86. Now, taking a look at Alamogordo, for the most part, we're going to be seeing across the southern part of the state as a whole, it's going to be cloudy nights and cloudy tomorrow, though emphasis on partly cloudy. It's going to get up to 85. Tomorrow in Truth or Consequences, it's once again going to be clocking in at 85. We're still going to be cloudy tonight, cloudy tomorrow. Moving on to Silver City, though, it is going to be cooling down just a little bit. It's only going to get up to 78, not quite going to crack the 80s, and it is going to be a clear night. And then here in Las Cruces, it's going to be back to what we talked about in the first two, high in about 86, low at 55 tonight. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Ben. The city of Las Cruces is working on a new plan to reduce the amount of garbage we have to bury in landfills.
It's a pilot project called Curb Your Waste. 50 residents will get 26-gallon compost containers and directions of how to make compost from food scraps. Food waste is the largest single component of the city's waste stream, and the rotting food releases 10 times more greenhouse gases than composting. If all goes as planned, Las Cruces will be able to get free compost from the city.
And Aleka, can you tell us more about what's going on with sports?
Thanks, Annalicia. Coming up in sports, a blue blood college program has added another top-level coaching hire to their collection. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
On this season of Patty's Mexican Table, we are in the Yucatan Peninsula. ¡Qué rico! I'm gonna take all the things I learned here and put them to use in my kitchen so that you can use them too.
Friday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
The news comes at you so fast that sometimes you miss stories that impact you. Enter KRWG's Friday News Wrap. Explore exclusive content, in-depth news, deeper dives into stories, and so much more. Get it delivered to your email by subscribing free at krwg.org. KRWG Public Media, powered by you.
Join KRWG Public Media for a free screening of the independent lens film The Librarians at Thomas Brannigan Memorial Library in Las Cruces, Thursday, April 23rd. Doors open at 5 p.m. and the screening begins promptly at 5:30, followed by a short discussion. Light snacks will be provided.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back. I'm Aleka Darko, and let's talk sports. After hiring future NFL Hall of Famer Bill Belichick last year to lead the football program, the UNC Tar Heels have made another top-level coach hiring. The Blue Blood program hired former Denver Nuggets head coach Mike Malone. Malone helped lead the Nuggets to an NBA championship 2 years ago and is the franchise all-time leader in wins. While Malone doesn't have a ton of college experience, UNC is hungry to get back to its first national championship since 2021 and win it for the first time in a decade, making Malone the second coach in history to win championships in both professional and college basketball. The other being Larry Brown, who led the Kansas Jayhawks in 1988, then the Detroit Pistons in 2004. After a weekend sweep of Delaware, the NMSU Aggies baseball team will have a tall task against Big 12 opponent Arizona. The Aggies are coming off a weekend in which every player in the starting lineup recorded a hit. That was led by first baseman Steve Solorzano, who on Saturday had a 4-hit day against the Blue Hens. The Aggies last met the Wildcats back in 2024, where they knocked off the Big 12 foe 12-9. The game is at 7, so after this newscast, flip to ESPN Plus to see the battle in action. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead, News 22, Ben will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast.
I'm Michaela Malazzi, and I'm back with a brand new season of Bare Feet, where I continue to connect with the world, one dance at a time. Join me for this new Season 8 of dance and music adventures from around the world.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG Public Media.
Having aired in the U.S. and internationally for over 3 decades, Wailana Yoga helped pioneer the modern-day yoga movement. With her clear and authentic instruction set against spectacular scenic backdrops and uplifting music, Wailana makes yoga easily accessible and enjoyable for people of all backgrounds and experience levels.
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KRWG Public Media.
And that's all for News 22. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Noticias 22. La información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, yo soy Jade Matornelas con las breves de hoy en Noticias 22. Un jurado de las Cruces en el caso del tiroteo de Young Park decidieron que el tercero acusado es culpable de homicidio premeditado. El juez Douglas Jiggers anunció esta mañana que Josiah Ontiveros, de 16 años, también es culpable de 2 cargos de asesinato. El jurado encontró a Ontiveros no culpable de conspiración de cometer un delito. Durante los comentarios finales del juicio, la Fiscalía anunció al jurado que el grupo de adolescentes llegaron a Young Park en marzo del año pasado, con la intención de lastimar a Dominic Estrada, contradictando el argumento del acusado. Las 3 personas que fallecieron en el tiroteo fue Andrew Madrid, de 16 años, Dominic Estrada, de 18 años, y Jason Gómez, de 17 años. El Procurador General de Nuevo México, Raúl Torres, alega que el Departamento de Juveniles y Familias, conocido como KRWG-TV-Public, está abusando niños. De acuerdo a Raúl Torres, la Fiscalía Estatal de Nuevo México ha creado una demanda contra el departamento. La demanda alega que la KRWG-TV abusó las leyes de confidencialidad del Estado para ocultar errores. Una investigación que duró 1 año encontró que el Departamento de Justicia priorizó la reunificación familiar a cualquier manera. Hubo graves consecuencias, incluso la muerte de al menos 7 niños desde que comenzó la investigación. Esto fue todo por mi parte hoy. Que tengan una buena tarde. No se les olviden seguirnos en las redes sociales de Instagram, YouTube y Facebook.